Presently, we have about 44,000 people unemployed, but only about 1,000 of these people, Mr. Speaker, are actual state workers. Some of the people in the private sector resent that, but we should know that 98% of the unemployed are private sector individuals, not public sector people. The bottom line is that the government workers are about 20% of the labor force, but they comprise 2% of the unemployed. Again, because those state jobs were preserved. With 70 cents of every tax dollar going towards government salaries, the public sector unions and their supporters should be grateful that almost 99% of state workers still have their jobs. Mr. Speaker, my second concern is that HB 2200 gives the unfortunate impression that the House budget and the governor's budget were light years apart. The total budget that we're looking at today is $10,050 million, and the governor's budget was $10,089 million. That's only a difference of $39 million. So the spread between the two, we can argue about where the cuts were, but the actual amounts, there's really an agreement with the executive branch and in the House, at least so far. Mr. Speaker, that is a 1% difference, not a big difference. But let me go to my last concern now. And this is the $64,000 question. How are we going to pay for this budget? That's the bigger question on the minds of the people of Hawaii. Where is the money going to come from? HB 2200 says nothing about that, but it references vaguely that there are going to be some tax increases and other things that it never follows through with nor spells out. But yet we have to balance our budget, and the concern is, how are we going to do it? That means the budget battle, the budget discussion is just now beginning. We can already see that this body and the executive branch basically disagree, but the big difference is going to come down the line when it comes to the spending. Last week I spoke on this floor about 15 job killer bills that this body passed that could seriously hurt our recovery from this recession and the balances this budget on the backs of the small business community. With a 500% increase in unemployment insurance taxes in the next few months and a 900% increase by next year, Hawaii small businesses are going to feel the pinch. Mr. Speaker, there are about 37 small businesses in Hawaii with over 90% of them having less than 20 employees. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration, small business loan failure rates are up 11.9% in 2009. And we have no reason to think this negative trend will not continue as more and more small businesses are folding. Need I remind you, Mr. Speaker, nor this body, that we have now defunct, out of business, closed their doors. Another one hits the dust. Aloha Airlines, Molokai Ranch, Maui Land and Pineapple, Palama Meat Company, ATA Airlines, Circuit City, Comp USA, Weyerhaeuser, Island Chevrolet on the Big Island. Even the Outrigger closed their travel club. And we talked about the TAT not having an impact on tourism. They closed their travel club. And we also know that one of our newspapers, probably in the next 4 to 5 weeks, is going to die. And this is not to mention the TV stations. Well, we got one TV station here today. It was always, when we argued the budget, at least 3 TV stations. We got one TV station, or let's say 2 TV stations, one newspaper, and we have big layoffs in Sea Life Park, Surfco Pacific, Hawaii Medical Center, Norwegian Cruise Lines, etc. The point is, Mr. Speaker, how we get the money to balance this budget is really the argument that we need to know with the spending the spending plan. Despite this dismal economic future and the fact that unemployment has doubled.
Representative Ching, would you like to yield your time? Or Representative Pine?
I'll yield my time.
So ordered. Please continue, Representative
Yeah,
Ward.
just about finished. Thank you, Representative. Despite the dismal economic picture and the fact that unemployment has doubled, this body has passed the job killers. For example, HB 1926, which adds $20 surcharge that businesses have to pay whenever they pay for a variety of state fees. Another example, 1907, HB 1907 takes away net operating loss deductions, itemized deduction, capital good excise tax, and HB 2867 and HB 2877 eliminate various tax exemptions that were implemented to stimulate business, and HB 2852 to increase premiums on health insurance. Mr. Speaker, it's a bit of an irony that we bemoan the fact that our health insurance on the national level is such a big issue and it's escalating, but yet we turn around and we put fees on Kaiser and HMSA, so the cost of health care goes up. It's a bit odd that we would bemoan that at the same time turn around and increase those taxes. Bottom line, Mr. Speaker, my point is that we cannot kill more jobs with this budget by the way that we fund it. And let's not forget that the jobs that have been saved up to this point due to the actions of the governor, which I just spoke of. Let's be objective, let's be fair. The expense side of the ledger may be filled in, but the battle over the budget is on the revenue side, which we're just beginning to discuss. As the subject matter chairs and others boast of this budget, let's remember this bill is only the beginning volley in our fight for a balanced budget. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.